Good morning, everyone. How are you guys doing on this Friday morning? It's awfully rainy outside. I love it. I'm so does all that good stuff. I'm excited. I'm just trying to get my live going here on my iPad so I can see your comments. Everybody see me okay? Everyone having a good morning? Ready to get some crafty going? I'm excited. I have lots of stuff to share today, so I'm pretty excited for today. You guys all hanging in there, needing haircuts and color, and I tell you, I can't wait to get to the hairdresser. My fingernails are so bad, it's unbelievable. Anyway, so good morning, Suzanne. I'm just gonna look away occasionally so I can see my iPad, so you don't have to always see the side of my head. I just wanted to wait until a few more people. Good morning, Rose. It's a nice day here today. Hopefully my internet stays on and doesn't freeze. If you have any problems, any concerns, I'm not in shot or whatever, please let me know, okay? So last week I decided that I wanted to create, thank you, Kathy. I miss you. I was thinking about you last night. We need to talk soon. Last week, I was in a funk and not very creative, and I thought that I would create this, this little portfolio mini album. I'm torn between the word, whether it's a folio, whether it's a portfolio, whether it's technically a mini album. Additionally have chipboard in them or a hard cover. So I didn't really want to call it a mini album because, believe it or not, there is no chipboard in this album. Okay? Good morning, Stephanie. Good morning, Victoria. So this is the album. I'm going to call it a mini album. I'm going to commit to it. It's a mini album. I may occasionally call it a folio because I was doing that earlier too. Okay. So I have used the Blue Land collection to create this. And the one thing I wanted to share with you was when I created this, I used what was left over from another project. The other project was this little card stationery set that Shelley Geigel had created. And so I used the Blue Land. So it has a nice little lid. And you can watch her video to do this. It's not mine. This folds down. Okay. So this here has a little notepad that I made. Okay. There's a little spot here for stamps to fit in. Then it has 4 or 6 cards. They're all different with the envelopes. And then I did some little mini cards and 3 little tags. Aren't they sweet? So this collection has been so popular, and I didn't want to waste what I had left. And it's like, what do you do with scraps? And I thought, well, I'm going to make this little folio. So that's what I decided to do. So just get this out of the way. But isn't this super sweet? Like, seriously. And it takes no time to create. Shelley did an amazing job on this. I love it. So back to me. Okay. So this is a folio. I have chose to do my folio with a wide opening. You will have another way to do it as well, which I'm going to show you in a minute. I decided to dress mine using the Heartfelt Creations Wild Rose in the small. Okay. We're going to undo this. Now, I did 2 different ways here to show you. You can actually adhere your ribbon between your pattern paper and your folio, or you can have it on top of your folio and cover up the raw ends with a decorative tag. Either way is perfectly fine. I just chose to do both ways so that I could show you guys what it would look like both ways. So we're going to open this up, and this is the front inside cover. Has a nice magnet. You can hear it snapping. I have a little story about the magnets here. So in here, there are 4 waterfalls, flaps. Okay. When you're constructing them, make sure that you use your little scrap pieces and cover this little spot here. Okay. It just makes it finished and it looks better. And the detail, the attention to detail is what makes any mini album look like it's worth $1 million. Down in this side, we're going to put a little pocket. Oh, I can't grab anything. And I just cut a photo mat. I had an extra piece of paper that was so pretty that I just wanted to include it. And it just sits inside this little pocket and this little tag, which I'm probably going to put some twine, or I might even do a little pop on here so it's a little tuck spot. Haven't really decided, so I didn't want to commit yet. Okay, and then the waterfall flaps come down and this snaps closed. We have a nice little binding down here that you could do some decorative trim if you wanted. This opens out. Isn't this paper stunning? Can you see all of it? Am I freezing at all? My iPad seems to be a little frozen. Not sure. I'm a little behind. Everything's okay. Give me some hearts if we're doing good. And if I get talking too fast and my Irish comes out, let me know. I can slow down. We all still with us? Got a few comments of any kind? Okay, our center section has a magnet as well to keep this closed. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Rose. So what I've done is I've done 5 side waterfalls in total. This one opens to the left. The left, yep. And then these ones open to the right. And these are long, so they're 8.5 inches long. Okay, so we've got 4 of these. And again, I just put plain paper because I was running out of my pretty paper. Excuse me. You can put photos on here. You can add, excuse me, another. I need a cup of drink. Hang on. Alrighty. You can put a pocket. You could put photos. You can do whatever you like in there. Okay. And I just did 2 little photo mats on this side. And I really liked how I kept my 2 pieces of paper. This obviously is part of this, and you can see the bench continues. It just happened that way. It was magical. No other reason than that. Now, the back flap, I've done 2 different ways. So this one has the heartfelt decorative pocket die. Not everyone has it, so I didn't want it just to be that this was all you could do and you could only get locked into this. So what I did was I used it on here. You cut the little slit on your pattern paper before you attach it to your mini album, and then it hold, excuse me, it hold tags. My allergies are bad this morning. Okay, so the other thing with this album, the way that I've chose to do it is I'm folding this side in and putting this over. But you don't have to do that. You can go this way and do a nice closure here. You could do some kind of a swivel. You could do, I don't know, tie your bow across the front. There's a million different ways. But I chose to do it this way because I really wanted to use this new die from Heartfelt. I just love it, and it's so pretty with the silver. No, Heartfelt has not come out with silver cardstock. They only have the gold. This is just basil silver foil. Okay, and then I put a nice piece of ribbon. I fanned my little ends, my little tails. You could also punch a hole, have some stuff hanging off the sides. You could do so much more to this than what I've done. I think that there's lots of possibilities with this. Okay, so what you're going to need in total, actually before I do that, I'm going to quickly show you what I used. The flowers were done with the Small Wild Rose Stampin' Die. Now, unfortunately, the leaf is in the large set, but we all have leaves. Even if you don't use Heartfelt and you're using Prima, you're using 49 and Market, they're going to have leaves in their packages, so it's all good. Of course, there's a mold that takes all the work out of it, so easy peasy to get these done. Okay. I also use the Decorative Frame Circle. This is the new one. Okay, and it has this really pretty closure with all these little scallops. I'm not sure if you can see the scallops on there. Okay, super pretty. Really like this one. Okay, For those that are using the hard felt, I did my flowers in the Faded Jeans from Distress, Tim Holtz. My leaves were stamped with Archival Leaf Green and colored with Vivid Chartreuse, my favorite green. It is so popular right now, it's ridiculous. When I stamped my flowers, before I colored them, I stamped them with Nautical Blue because I wanted a really deep outside, but yet I still wanted to be able to see the veins, but still get my pretty color. Okay. And then I used a combination of stamens, and I used Dress My Craft because they have a really nice price point and they're really pretty. These are the threaded ones. And again, just to let people know, you don't have to just use the heartfelt stuff. If you have Wilton flower stems, if you have anything, they can all be used together with this. So I took, I think it was 3 blue and 3 of the green and clustered them together. I also made some little rosebuds. I'm not sure if Gary can zoom in on these rosebuds, or if I bring it up to the camera, you can see the little rosebuds. Aren't they gorgeous? I was talking about that with my last Facebook Live. I made these with 2 petals of the smallest wild rose, and they look like little rosebuds. So I'm really pleased with the way they turned out. I used 8.5 by 11, 110 pound cardstock for the album. I used 8 sheets of it. Now, if you don't have it, don't worry. You can use your 12 by 12. You just have to cut it down to 8.5 by 11. Okay. I don't normally work with that size, but I just had it and I grabbed it and I didn't want to think about it. For my blue with the Blue Land, my navy cardstock is actually Moody Blue, and it's a smooth, so no texture on that. So that's what I used. Obviously, you're going to need your score tape. 1/4 inch works perfect. Some dries clear. Make sure when you're building the album, you do not use the dries clear. We want to only use score tape for the building of the album because we really need the strength. We can attach all of our paper and all of our stuff with the dries clear. I have a decorative punch that I used for the back of the album. Okay, it's just one I had. Now on the inside, you'll notice that I did all the edges. Can you see that, Gary? I did all my edges concave. Let me see if I can put a piece of paper behind there so you can see the corner is done concave. So you can use any concave punch that you have. You can use the stub and scallop from We Are Memory Keepers. If you don't have one of these, not a worry. If you have a corner rounder, do a corner rounder. Doesn't matter. Use what you have. Sorry that my phone is ringing. The volume was supposed to be down. I apologize. You know, this is live. If you're going to do the heartfelt, obviously we want to put the Distress Crackle on the blooms with a paintbrush. Then we're going to bring out our trusty Rajneesh Crystal Clear, because there's no way that you can have a flower without all this goodness on it. It's just stunning. For my leaves, I always use Spectrum Noir Clear from Crafter's Companion, or a Wink of Stella Clear glitter pen. Has a nice little brush on the end. Just push it all over your leaves and all over, and you're good. Okay? Now, you're also going to need a scoreboard. You are going to need a trimmer. You are going to need a bone folder. You are going to need scissors, I think I said, I'm not sure. Kind of lost track of myself here. Bone folder, score tape. We don't need the inks. We don't need this. I think that's about what we're going to need to get started. But before we get started, I don't know if you guys have been watching the news, but I have just found out, and I actually have my little trusty piece of paper because I want to make sure I get it out clearly. Exciting news, okay? Starting next week on on Tuesday, I'm excited, on Tuesday, Paper Lane Studio is allowed to accept walk-in customers. We will be accepting no more than 3 people in the store, allowing us to keep with the provincial physical distancing restrictions. Excuse me. We will continue to ensure the safety protocols and hygiene standards are maintained. This weekend, we are cleaning the store from top to bottom. We will continue to offer our curbside service. There will be no change to our shipping direct or local deliveries. If you feel that you want to come in and you want to have your mask, you want to wear your gloves, whatever you feel that is going to ensure your personal safety, then I want you to do it. I just want to open the doors. I will restrain myself from hugging everybody until, I don't know, maybe July. I'm going to give you guys till July and then look out because I'm coming in for some hugs, okay? Because like I need a hug. So this is exciting. So I know, Cherish, isn't this amazing? I'm so excited that this is going to happen finally and we can get some of our life back. The first thing I'm going to do when I can is get my hair cut. I need a haircut. I need hair color. Okay, so before we get started, I also wanted to let you know that there is a little bit of a twist to this portfolio today. So I created this and then I thought, wouldn't it be amazing to offer or put out or extend a challenge to everybody? Okay, so here's the challenge. If you create a portfolio like mine, does not have to be the same color, the same theme. I don't care if it's about dogs, horses, bunnies, your trailer, if it's a birthday, a wedding. I don't care what the theme is. I don't care the colors. If you create one and you accept this challenge, you have until May 29th at 6 p.m. to upload and post photos on Paper Lane Studios Creative Space. And we will do a draw on May 30th at 10:30 a.m. live. Okay, so I have now challenged you to get creative. This took me maybe an hour and a half to create, honestly. The flowers a little bit more, but the actual book, and that was designing and creating all at the same time. So I challenge you. I, Leanne Elizabeth DeZoba, have now challenged all my Paper Lane Studio customers to take this challenge on. Okay? Now, if you win, you will receive, can you see all that? You will receive a valued over $200 to $300 pack of Cartabellas around the world. This is the complete paper pack. This is the sticker sheet. There's 2 stamps. There's a stamp and die. There's dies, a die combo, 2 different washi tapes. It is absolutely freaking amazing. Okay? So you will get this, and not only will you get this, look what I have in my hand. Do you see that? That is Tim Holtz's new favorite tool. Okay? This is the glitter duster from Stampers Anonymous. Okay? So you fill it all the way, halfway. Apparently Tim says no more than halfway with glitter. So you can use his glitter duster if you want. Okay? And fill it halfway. Then you turn this little nozzle and you poof it. I'm not exactly sure. I'm going to play with it tonight. And you poof your glitter all over the place. So it can be a little bit more defined onto where you want it. I can't wait to play with this. So this is so exciting. So these are here. As you can see, I have a big basket full and more are coming because I know these are going to fly off the shelf. It's ridiculous. I also have in his new glitter, vintage platinum glitter in as well. So that is here for you guys. Okay. Now, that's your prize if you win. But I want everyone to know this is not a contest, okay? This is definitely just a challenge. A challenge to you to get creative and create this and possibly win, okay? So let's get started. Enough of me rambling, okay? How's everyone doing? You hanging with me? We're not pausing too much. We're still doing okay? All right. So I would have loved to have been able to do this fully dressed, cut everything with you, but being rural, I was just worried that our internet wasn't going to survive a 2.5 hour class. So I thought this way I will do the tutorial, run through it somewhat quickly, and then that way you guys can pause it after the live is done. We've also listed everything on the blog, on our Facebook blog, Paper Lane Studio blog, to go and get the supply list that you're going to need. Okay, so the measurements are not on there, but if you need me to do that, I can definitely send them to you. Okay, I think it's pretty easy, excuse me, and you'll be able to follow along really well. Now I wanted to get back to these magnets for a minute. So the magnets, everyone's been using the magnets from Basic Gray. Okay, so as we all know, Basic Gray closed business years ago, and the limited magnets that they had on the market have been sold out. So I can't get them anymore. And if I can, it's very random, maybe one pack. So I've gone to outsource this to Texas, and I have found these amazing magnets that are the same size, kind of hard to show you, same size. They're actually a little thinner, and oh my God, are they ever strong. Okay, so same value, same amount in the package, everything is the same. Okay, these magnets are amazing for these albums. So I just want to let you know that I do have them. We're not going to run out of magnets. Okay, all right. You are going to need 2 pieces of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. Okay, Gary's going to switch us down to the table. Okay. So I'm going to try to do this so that it's facing you. There's going to be times I'm going to have to turn it so it's facing me so I know what I'm doing. Because if I get confused and confuse us, we're done. Okay? So on your 8.5 by 11, you're going to lay your 11 across the top of your scoreboard. And you are going to score at 6 1/8 and 7 1/8. Okay? You're going to take your next piece and you're going to do the same thing. 6 1/8. 7 1/8. Okay, now I don't know how you guys were taught, but how I was taught, there's a mountain and a valley on a score line, and so we always want to have our valley on the that actually breaks the fibers of our cardstock, so it's easy to fold and it's almost perfect exactly when you do it. Okay, and then you're just going to take your bone folder and you're going to crease this nice and firm, okay? And then you're going to take your next one and you're going to fold it over, okay? Instantly beautiful crease. I can't say enough about doing them that way. They stay nice and strong. So you should have 2 pieces like this, okay? I'm just going to flip this one over. And so 2 pieces like this, okay? Now what I'm going to move my scoreboard out of the way. I want you to adhere score tape to one side, one piece, and one of the small sides. Excuse me. Now I want you to make sure that it is totally covered with score tape, okay? And you want to burnish the heck out of it. The reason we burnish is so that we get all the air out of the adhesive, and it's going to adhere everywhere. It also helps to release the backing of your paper. Okay? So one side has this tape, the other side does not. Okay? With me so far? No worries, Sheila. You'll be able to watch this. As soon as the live is done, you'll be able to go back and redo this, okay? And then you can stop and pause as you need it. Okay? Now what I want you to do is I want you to lay down one piece with your wide side down flat. I want you to take the piece that has your score tape and I want you to adhere it. Now the easiest way that I find to do it is to take my large piece and lay it just up against my score line. You're not going to go over the score line, just bump it beside it. Make sure you don't go over, ensuring that you're even here and here. Okay, so you have your score taped side here, and it's the small side. You're going to take your other piece of white, or whichever color you're doing, and you're going to bump it up against the score line. Okay, so that when it is glued, it's going to look like this. Okay, you will have a seam in the back. You will have your spines that are 1 inch on either side. You'll have your small piece to your left, your large piece to the right. Okay, and you will have a box that looks like this. Okay, it wasn't that easy. That is the bones of our album right here, and it's 2 pieces of 8.5 by 11 paper. Okay, now the way that I like to do this is I like to work on the inside of my front cover first. Sorry, I just need to get a drink. So you're going to cut 4 waterfall flaps. Okay, they are going to be 6 inches long by 4.5 wide. Okay, you're going to score one side of all of them at 1/2 inch. Okay, so we have 4 waterfall flaps. Ignore the writing on there, sorry. Okay, we have 4 flaps. I'll take it off the white so you can see them. Okay, you have 4 like this. Okay, so they are going to be 6 inches long, 4.5 inches wide, and you're going to score at 1/2 inch on all of them. At this time, you may also want to notch your corners, do your decorative corners, whatever you want. Okay, the M here means that we're going to be putting a magnet there at some point. Okay, so once you have all of these scored, your corners notched, you're going to apply score tape, 3/8 score tape, or quarter. If you have a half, that would be great, doesn't matter. I like to apply my score tape just up to the edge of my fold line. Okay, so you're going to do that on all of these. Okay, so we now, through the magic of TV, we have all of these done. So if you can visualize without the paper, these are our waterfall flaps, okay? Then what I want you to do is I want you to cut a pocket. Now you're going to only cut one of these, and it is going to be 6.5 inches long by 4.25. You are going to score 1/4 inch on 3 sides. You're also going to cut at a 45-degree angle so that when these get folded over, you have a nice pretty corner. If I put that down there, does it help you to see a nice pretty corner? Okay, so you're going to notch these out so that you have a nice corner. Now, I did not punch a little tab opening here for my pocket. If you want to, you definitely can. Sometimes I like them, sometimes I don't. In my book, I actually used my envelope punch board and just did a little divot in the center. You can do a circle, you can do nothing, it doesn't matter. It's personal preference on whatever you want, okay? So one of these. So right now, as a recap, you have 4 of your waterfalls that are cut 6 inches long by 4.5, scored at 1/2 on one side. You have a pocket that is 6.5 by 4.25. 3 sides have been scored. Now you're going to have some leftover. Whether you do this right this minute or when you are finished cutting, that's up to you. You're going to cut a piece that is 6.5 by 2 inches, and you're only going to cut one of them. Okay, and you're going to notch your corners on one end, and you're going to score at 1/2 on the other end. Okay, so it looks like this. 6.5 long by 2 inches wide, scored at 1/2 inch. Now for you at home that are going to do this later. At this point, I would suggest that you cut your piece of pattern paper to fit in here. Always leave 1/8 of an inch around, so measure just in case your cuts are different. I'm not going to give a measurement for the pattern paper. So you're just going to measure between the score line and your edge, your top and your bottom, and take off a bit so that you can see a little bit of the white going around. Okay, I like to see a little bit of white. Then what you're going to do, once your pattern paper is down, you will take your pocket and you're going to put your score tape on the back on all your flaps. Do not remove it yet. You're going to take your little flap. Sorry, I'm working backwards. You're going to center it on your pocket and you're going to adhere just to this quarter flap. Okay, right here. So now it looks like this. Okay. Now you're going to remove your backing. Remember, your pretty paper's down here. You're going to remove the backing. And I would also run a little bead of Dries Clear on here. It gives you wiggle room to move things. You are now going to center this like so on your pattern paper. Leave a little bit at the bottom, a little bit on each side, okay? And once this is adhered down, your flap will open. We will be putting a magnet on the underside of the flap, okay? Now, once this is down, just lift your flap out of the way, and you're gonna start at the very top. You're gonna take this folded edge, and you're gonna bump this right up to the edge of your pattern paper, not your folio, to your pattern paper. Okay? Once this one is down, you're going to take another one and you're going to take the backing off of your tape. You're going to bump it up right to the one above it, leaving no space, ensuring as you go that these are lined up. It's easier to show you on this one. We want to make sure that your lines, your edges of your flaps are all even. You don't want them askew. And I've known from all the albums I've done, by the third one, if the second one is not exactly straight, the third and fourth are off. So take your time. Bump them up, right up close to each other, all the way down. Your fourth flap should go over your pocket. Okay? Now you will, when you have dressed your flaps, you are going to put a magnet on the top one. I have one right here. And you're going to have a magnet on the underside of this flap. Then the two will mate and make a nice snapping noise, and you know you have them the correct way. Okay? I like to ink all the edges of my pattern paper. I like the distressed look. Be sure that when you adhere your pattern paper onto your flaps, whatever you've done to your corners, be sure you do it to your pattern paper as well. Okay, and that is also included on the flap. So wherever you dress, make sure that the corners match your flaps. Okay, now I put a decorative little button on the front here and a little piece of twine. You can do whatever you like. It's just pretty. I'm a seamstress. I love buttons, and I thought it tied in really nice with the whole flow of this little mini album. Okay, how are we doing? Is anyone working with me, or are we just gonna watch and do later? Which is bonus. And hopefully I'm not stalling too much on my video. I'm thinking everything looks good. Everything's good, thank you. If I could get some thumbs up, that would be great. Okay, thank you. Hi, Michelle. You're just gonna watch and do later? Please accept my challenge. I would love to see somebody win this amazing pack. All right, so this is the inside of our cover, okay? So I will just move this out of the way. Now we are gonna work on the center of the book, okay? We're not gonna dress these yet. I always like to save these things. Carolyn, do you not have any just cardstock? Just basil, 80, 100 pound? It doesn't matter which, and you can just cut it down to 8.5 by 11. You don't need the chipboard. Hi, Cindy. Okay, so we're going to go into the middle section. So don't worry about dressing this yet. I like to leave this to the end and see what I have left for my scraps. I don't want to cut into anything in case it's needed. I'm just going to read some comments. So in this section, what we're going to do is we're going to waterfall. I did one of these a couple years ago, and now I love them. I don't know why I never came up with the idea myself. It's absolutely amazing. So we are going to have 4 waterfalls that open to the right, and we're going to have 1 that opens to the left. Okay? So you are going to cut. I have all my little stuff all organized here. These paper things don't want to come off. Okay. You are going to cut 5 side waterfalls that are 8.5 inches long by 4.5 inches wide. You are going to score 1/2 inch on all of them on one side only, and you are going to notch, round, decorative punch your corners on all of them. Okay? Once you have all of these done, you are going to lay some pretty paper to measure between your score lines by 8.5. And again, if you've decided to leave a little bit of a white trim on the front, continue it through the whole book. So cut it to measure, cover all this. I would definitely suggest for this part, putting score tape on your pattern paper as well, because there's a lot of weight on here and it just gives a lot of stability. Okay, so once you have your pretty pattern paper down, you are going to take your first flap. I'm working this way. Okay, so you are going to take your first fold. Once your score tape is on here, you're going to remove it, fold it back. You're going to bump this up against your score line, not over it. You want it just to be right up against it, ensuring that you are even at the top and the bottom. Okay, we've all done waterfalls, so we're all pretty sure how to do them, but as a refresher, we are now going to take a second one and we are going to bump it up against the first one, ensuring there's no space. Okay, see, I've got this off a little bit. We want to make sure that we're all lined up and that everything is straight, or once it goes askew, it's done. Okay, so you're just going to continue for 4 of these on this side. Okay, so you're going to have 4 flaps. I have 1, 2, 3. There's my 4th one. Okay, you have 4 on this side. Your 5th one, you're going to adhere your score tape and you're going to do it on the opposite side. And you're going to do the same thing. You're going to bump it up against the score line. Don't go over. Make sure it's even. What this does, it's going to have a magnet on it, and it is going to act as our closure. Okay, so here we have our 4 side waterfalls, and then we have our 5th one that is going to close over. Now, optionally, what you can do, you can not lay down your pattern paper first. You can lay all of your waterfalls down, then put your pretty paper so that it covers these edges. I did not do that because I like the look of this and I wanted to do it that way. So again, if you want to do that later on, feel free to do that. Adhere all of your waterfalls first, then put your pretty pattern paper. It's totally up to you. There is no right or wrong. Okay. once you're at the point where you're dressing all of your pages, again, I ran out of pretty paper because I'd done the other project. So I decided to use cardstock to maximize my paper. So I will add a little bit of details, a little bit of leftover trim that I have from my paper, and add some little details onto here. And then a nice little photo mat. I'll probably do a little journaling strip. This side, you could also do a small waterfall. You could do a pocket. You could do a side pocket, have some little things tucked in. Endless. You will have a magnet on the top underneath your pattern paper here, and you'll have one on this side. And when it closes, they mate, and that keeps that locked. I just love the sound of the magnets closing. Okay. So how we doing? Everybody understand that? Any questions? You can always call me, email me, freak out. Hi, Joanne. No problem. You can rewatch everything once the live is over. Hopefully you'll follow along and create one and get in on our challenge that I've put out to everybody. Everything's good? Okay. So now we're going to go to the back, to this back flap. Now, the way that I've done it on mine is different to the way the sample is, and the reason I did that again was not everyone has this, and I wanted to show people a different way to do it, okay? So for this section, what you're going to do is you're going to cut a belly band that is 4 3/8. Yes, you know where the 3/8 is. 4 3/8 by 2 inches. And you're going to score 1/4 inch on each end. If you wanted to do a decorative something on here, please do it. Just leave it plain and add some pretty paper as well. So you will just adhere, once you have your pretty paper here, you're going to center your belly band and adhere it, ensuring that this inside score fold does not go past the score line. It just bumps up because we want it to be able to bend back and forth, right? And we don't want it to go past the edge of our paper as well. Now, as another option, I got thinking about this last night. If you didn't want the belly band because you're not sure you want to be able to slide stuff down in there, because it would be a belly band where you could actually, you know, put photos, tuck spot, do whatever you want here. You could actually lower it, seal 3 sides, and make yourself a little pocket. Okay, so you could even do a photo up here, have a little pocket with some photos down at the bottom. You don't have to do a belly band. You don't have to have it here. You could even cut 2 of these, have one higher, seal the 2 sides, cut another one, and have it bump up against it. And then it also is another little pocket. So it's absolutely endless, the things that can be done with this. And for the amount of paper that we've used to create this with no chipboard, it's amazing. Like 8 sheets of cardstock, 2 sheets of 12 by 12 pretty paper that I used for my accent because I was running out of my Stamperia Blue Land. Okay, so if you happen to have the decorative pocket die, Gary, could you hand that to me? It's that first one right there. Sorry, I forgot to pull it. So this is the decorative pocket die. Okay, so you get the large and the small. I use the small. You also get this little die that cuts the slit. So you would cut your pretty paper. You would cut your slit. You would adhere your pretty paper on all the sides, ensuring that you do not glue underneath here or here. I do like to put a little piece of score tape on the top. Then you do this in your trim, and then this allows you to slide a tag or some photos between the pattern paper and your book. Like so. I got that backwards. Oh, that other side's really pretty. I should have moved that bow. See? It's endless. Now, you could do some little decorative stuff here. You could put some little photos. You could do some journaling. Do some journaling on here. Once that is done, what you have left, you're going to cut 7/8 strips to fit in this 1-inch piece. You're going to cut 2 of them. They don't have to be the same. They can be different. Decorate it up. Do what you like. Use all your scraps to go back in and fill up your space between. Make sure you ink your edges. If you're going to ink your edges on one, ink it on all. Don't stop. You want continuity. It just adds to everything. Okay? Before you decorate the front of your album, you need to know how you're going to close it. Are you closing it like this? If so, you need to know that before you start designing the front. If you're going to want a bigger opening, like mine, then you have this big area to put something larger on. Now, I'm going to go back and put a couple photo mats on here because I just don't, I mean, it's pretty paper, but I would rather have photos on there. Okay? And then that goes like that. And again, as I said at the beginning, you can adhere your ribbon underneath your pretty paper to your book, or you can just have it on top and just tuck it under a decorative tag. So when you're decorating your outside, you're going to cut to measure. A large piece here, and then these, I'm not going to tell you measurements because everyone cuts different. And as I can tell you right now, I was really chinsing on my paper here and had to go over further than I would. You always want to have a nice little 1/8 all the way around. Make sure you ink your edges. Now, when I put all of this on and I had all that pretty glitter, my little butterfly also got glittered. I cut a tag out and punched the corners, and I found some little butterflies and I fussy cut those and popped them a bit and made them sit on the front. And just adhered and got creative with the front of the album. Just had a lot of fun with it. There are a few scratch marks on my mirror card, so obviously that's something I need to pay attention to. But other than that, that is our album. It is so cute. It took me literally an hour to put together, right from concept, because I kind of just design as I go, and then what am I going to do? And it just kind of goes from there. So I hope that you guys accept my challenge and create a pretty portfolio mini album for yourself in any theme and post it. And if you're not a member of our creative space, then please ask to join, and I will add you so that you can go in and share all of your works and get ideas and be inspired by everybody that's in there. Have a nice little bow on here. Okay, and we play really nice at our creative space. We like to be encouraging and thoughtful and loving with everyone and encouraging. And then if you want to go and do this little stationery box, this is at Shelly Geigel. You can go on, excuse me, and she gives you the video as well as the instructions on how to make this. Okay, and then again, just do you. I obviously need a better pencil because that one's got chewed up. Okay, so I hope that you guys will do the challenge. I can't wait to see your creations. I hope that that you enjoyed your time with me today. And if this is something that you guys would like me to do more often, let me know. Put in some comments. My creative space, if you go on to our Facebook page, Paper Lane Studio, you will see under groups, Paper Lane Studios Creative Space. You click on that and it will take you in there, and then you ask to join. Shelly's name is, I'm going to write it. Okay, so it's S-H-E-L-L-I. Her last name is G as in Gary, E-I-G-L-E. Okay, Shelly Geigel. J&S Hobbies and Crafts, I think, is the rest of it. I do some of her mini albums, but this was from there. And this literally took maybe 2 sheets of the same white cardstock to make. And then if you go to Walmart, you can buy the glue that holds your notepad. It's called Craft Bond Rubber Cement. And so when you're making your little pad, you use this product, get a bunch of pieces of cardstock, and you just adhere the sides. Let it dry overnight, and then they're all sealed and you can rip them off. Very, very strong. I'm asthmatic. Make sure that you are in a ventilated area. I had a coughing fit. So just as my little warning, that it is very strong. It has a brush on the end. And you want to do this outside or in a vented area. Okay. And then you can do a little tab here for a pencil. One of these ends open so that you can slide some little stamps in. And you could make a really nice little gift for that special someone. You could do this pretty folio as well as this little gift set for that person that we appreciate, those frontline people, our doctors, our nurses, someone special that's helped you out as a thank you. There's all kinds of cards and stuff that you can add in here, and it's just endless. So, we are going to sign off for right now. But I just wanted to let you guys know that tomorrow I'm going to do another quick little short Facebook Live because I've got a lot of stuff in the store. If you can see behind me, I put a few of the kits up that have come in. There's so much more. Gary and I are going to work all day today to get this all organized. We have everything from travel to our house, school days, you name it, it's there. We also, like I said earlier, we have our new tool, the glitter duster. They're in. These are going to sell out so fast. If you have orders, I've pretty much got in touch with everybody so far. But if there's more that I've not got in touch with, I will do that today. We were in the store last night till almost 6 o'clock working because the order finally came and it was so big. So all the tins are in. The storage tins for Tim Holtz, I am totally sold out again. Like this was 50 that we had and they're gone. So there'll be more coming in if you missed out on it. We will definitely have more of those in. So I hope you guys have a great day and get crafty and accept my challenge. I challenge you, Rose and Kathy and Karen, all of you people out there that are near and dear to Paper Lane, to take this challenge and let's be creative and have some fun and get crafty. Anyway, I will talk to you guys tomorrow. You can watch the replay, usually about 15 minutes, I think, after the live. Excuse me. So go back and watch it and have a great day. Okay, love you guys. Hugs and kisses.